Yeah, he likes me.
Right along with the rest of the kids.
How's it going? Good. I got your email, so you want that to be applicable to the payroll that we're running this week? Not a problem. That happens tomorrow, so we're good. Got enough lead time.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any personal appearances? Personal appearances?
Personal appearances.
Yes, please. President Emery, Commissioners, Josh Walsky. A couple things I want to put on your radar. On our June 1st City Council meeting, I invoked the Park District and asked for a vote from the council to explore a partnership with you guys regarding ecological restoration. This has to do with a lot of the work that Friends of the Service has been doing over the past few years, restoration of the dead loops, and a lot of the opportunities that exist right now along the river corridor. And so when this was a conversation that Ron and I shared a couple messages in the lead up to this. I had his general support that the Park District was interested in exploring this partnership. So I brought it to council. The council ultimately supported it. But seeing as you guys were a part of this process and had not yet heard from me, I wanted to come here in person tonight and let you know that we are still, I hope, working through that process to explore that partnership. In essence, giving you guys the reins to begin the planning and engineering process and finding all the boxes that we need to check and all the work that goes into this type of project on the front end. So with that, I have one other item, but if y'all have any questions on that topic, I will stand for them before I move on to item 2. Straight to item 2, Friends of the Souris River. We are organizing on very short notice a river cleanup here. It's so short notice that I don't know the date of it. I'm going to check my messages if I can get to them, but I think it's the 28th. We're going to do this over on the southeast corner of Minot. This is a kind of a dead loop, or not a dead loop, an active loop, but similar to a dead loop, adjoining the county land that was acquired after the flood. There's a large open space, and on the what would be the east side of the river, there's the my geography's bad tonight. VFW. It's kind of in that general area of the river, and it's a place where we regularly get the deadfall blocking the river. I bring it up to you tonight because following that cleanup, we're hoping to access some of the funds that exist in the foundation account for Friends of the Souris River, and potentially have a little bit of a feed for the folks who come out and help us on that particular day. So the hope is to get the canoeing and kayaking access clear through that area. Again, that deadfall gets in there all the time, but just another activity, but as attached to the foundations work. I wanted you guys to know about it. Thank you.
Is there anyone else? And we'll move on to approval of meeting minutes. We have minutes from the May 19th Park Board meeting and minutes from the June 3rd special meeting.
Make a motion to approve both minutes.
Second. Any discussion? Discussion on minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approval of bills in the amount of $816,935.95.
I will so move.
I'll second. Any discussion on the bills? Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Putnam?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Morton?
Yes.
Emery?
Yes. Approval of salaries, the amount of $367,150.07. Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion on salaries? Discussion on salaries? Roll call, please.
Putnam?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Olson? Morton?
Yes.
Emery?
Yes. Any information on our financials?
I have nothing else to add, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
All right, move on to department reports. Wilson.
Park Board President, Commissioners, just a few updates on the report I submitted. Just looking kind of down at projects. One I want to hit on is the paving projects. Things are moving along nicely right now. At Leach Park, pretty much done with all the concrete sidewalk work, curbs. They should finish all that this week and then hopefully be paving next week. Oak Park pathways are about 50 to 60% complete right now. SHA parking lot, the patching work's done, patchwork on the pathways are done. Then they'll proceed to fog coat and then chip seal, down the road a little bit. Again, things are in order to move on to Woodland Trail, probably early July, and Jeff can correct me if I'm wrong on that date if everything keeps moving along. And then again, hit the zoo, again, late August, early September. So right now that project's moving along nicely. Water slide project, again, everything was awarded. We had a pre-construction meeting. ROLAC is staging equipment, and they may do some of the dismantling of the existing slide possibly this week or early next week. And then we'll just keep moving that along, and they have put in a finish schedule of this year. So we'll just keep monitoring that. Center hung scoreboard, again, we did, we've been having lots of emails back and forth with Nevco. Things are in production. Again, we're hoping for an early September delivery and install. And we have a pre-construction timeline meeting either end of this week or early next week by conference call or Zoom or one of those platforms. Other than that, we went and looked at the Peterson Greenway area. And Shannon's crew went up and did some mowing, trimming, and spraying the end of last week. A nice little piece of property. So other than that, I'll answer any questions at this time.
Where's that from?
Basically the bypass and 4th Avenue exit. Years ago, there used to be a barn there, some stables, and it goes up into the coulee up to Academy Road, 27th Street. So really nice little property.
Any other questions?
Do we know, are we asking, like, how do we have the rendering of the new slide? Gonna put that at Roosevelt, at the pool that kind of shows it.
I'll refer to our marketing development director.
It's really
Well, are you gonna go
excited
draw it or
Yeah.
Yes, we just got the rendering, and that will be in the director's report, but Maddie's working on a design, and then we'll get it to the printers, and then we're gonna have it by height of the pool fencing and on both angles, so it'll look really cool.
People will be excited, especially when they start to see it come down too. Really know what's coming.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Francis, call for us.
In my report, we are scheduled to host the State Classic Girls this year in October. I think we talked about it last fall. And also then, Ms. Honda requested to host the state cross-country meet on October 3rd, which is a Saturday, but it would be a smaller meet. And I think we can keep it on 9 holes, and then we can keep the other 9 open. With the state girls, we've already had some girls come in and play practice rounds, so that they've already come in to look at the golf course. So hopefully golf course will, we need some rain out there right now, it's pretty dry, but we're excited to host it. I've already set up a separate committee a welcoming committee for the state tournament, and we want to make sure they feel welcome when they get to my head. Well, the last one tournament so far, that was today, the ladies building hope tournament for cancer. Everything else is a go so far.
That's it for Steve.
What's the WeLinks? Someone asked me that, and I'm not totally sure. I couldn't remember. Like, it's closed for the year, right?
Yeah, the stars would have to line up perfectly for us to get it open, I think. But the parking lot, I check with Curtis every day, and it's looking good over there. The grass is taken over. Mike's been over there mowing already. We have a gentleman with the project from Minnesota that's growing it and fertilizing it. We will be handed the project over, I think, on July 1. So Mike has to take over. Looks great. Parking lot doesn't look so good. Junior golf did vote last week to put a new roof and new siding on the clubhouse, because we didn't have the flood. We tried to wash it off. It looks pretty ugly. It's kind of cheap siding. So I'm meeting 2 contractors over this week to give us a quote on redoing that, but that would come out of our budget, not out of the park district's budget. We'll pay for that. So I guess, possibly this fall, but I hate to say that because the minute we say that, they'll expect it.
I just couldn't remember.
Yeah, and we don't have a nice dedication, so in my mind, I'm kind of thinking next year, but we'll see what happens. It's looking it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be an asset to the city.
Thank you. Mike Crest, Green Committee.
Nothing to add to my report other than the golf course is in really good shape, considering a lot of wind we've had, unbelievable wind, and the lack, like Steve said, the lack of moisture. I am monitoring the water now in the river. We are down a little bit, but we're holding.
Mike? Sue, is he back? And that's, I guess that's one thing I want to make sure we bring up is that the river cuttings and tiger exhibit is Thursday at 11. Okay. So everybody's aware of that. Mesa.
All right, just a couple updates on the construction project and some new pictures since my last visit. Hopefully this is the last pictures you're gonna get because my next appearance in front of you, we should be making ice. So, anyways, things are going very smoothly. Jay likes those on good, so. Make sure I'm doing it right. Anyways, Park Board President Commissioners, just quickly on the photos, these are since the last ones I showed you. Just want to give you an update. The first one up there is just showing the ec rink where they cut the existing pipe out going into the header of the floor, and then just kind of showing you how they were doing that. The second picture shows the west rink looking towards the plant room after they removed the pipe and then went and tampered the sand down for the new pipe to be laid on. Page 2 is looking from the Zamboni doors of the ec rink towards the penalty box of the finished sand before they laid the new pipe down. And then the bottom picture of page 2 shows the new piping that's going in. That's from the where the wall was removed of the plant room looking towards the penalty box in the west rink. And just kind of shows you what the bigger pipe is, the actual brine pipe. And then the smaller pipes next to it are what the underfloor solution that goes under to keep the frost line below the brine pipes. So that's kind of how it looks. If you go to page 3, that's looking at the trench down the Zamboni room, and then how it'll tie in to the east rink and then continue on to the west rink. Then down below is when they actually got it in place, and the same picture from above. Page 4 just shows you a picture looking at a little more of the plant now with the pipes that were replaced that go from the actual floor into the plant room and how that's going to look. And then the piping now down below is today. We got everything hooked up and they're actually pressure testing right now overnight. And then we can hopefully get good results on that, and then we can start sealing those up. And then the page 5, that just shows you what they're doing now. They got the west rink done. That's already been pressure tested, both cold floor and warm floor, and that passed. So they're going to come in Thursday and start filling in sand, and then start concreting next week. But that's what they're doing now after the pressure test tonight. If everything goes well, they'll go through and seal all the joints with this wrap. And then they take the spray foam and foam that in. So it'll be ready for them to pour concrete. So that's kind of the tedious project left this week with Simcoe. And then down below, I just took some pictures of the new piping in the plant room, just to kind of give you a visual of what it looks like. Our new absorption tank and expansion tanks came in, so those are already in place and hooked up. And then down below kind of shows you the new chiller and the piping that's in there right now. They still have some work to do in there next week to finish everything up, but it just gives you kind of a look there. So just give you some more visuals on what's going on with the progress of everything. I met with Ray, who's kind of the lead guy with Simcoe, so I just kind of gave you an updated timeline. Please do not hold me to these dates. As you know, things can change, but I also was pretty conservative on these dates, so I'm right now anticipating hopefully we might be skating Friday, July 24th, and could even be earlier if things go well. I put in a few extra days of flooding that we probably aren't going to need, and half the rink is still pretty saturated, the west rink, so it's going to have to take as long to saturate. So I put a few extra days in there, probably more so than what we need. But this just gives you kind of a timeline where we're going to be. The next 3 weeks are going to be pretty pretty go as far as a lot of stuff happening. I got a lot of sticky notes because I got a lot of different contractors that are going to be time sensitive here. So just trying to keep up on all that stuff. Right now, we're hoping that they're going to be pouring on Monday, and then Rolox said he should be done Wednesday of next week, and then he needs it to cure about 1 week before we can, not so much the ice resurfacers, before I can get equipment in to, we got to take some sand out, which we've already taken the sand out, but it's in a big pile. And I didn't want to start the workout program too early for my staff. We have to do everything by hand in buckets, and we have trenches everywhere, so I figured it'd be easier just to use wheelbarrows so we can get in there. And then I'll use Mike's equipment to come in once we get the new sand in. The nice thing with our sand report is we only had to take the top inch off. The bottom 2 or 3 inches of our contaminated area did not have any chloride remnants in it. So we did not take all that sand out, so that helped. So we just had to take that top inch on the north end, and then the same area down on the other end that we tested to compare didn't have any chloride. So it looks like for some reason we just got a little bit that seeped up. So they said if we can take that top off, that should take a lot of that sediment out. So that was good. We didn't have to do as much as I thought we did. So once we get that new sand in, and then probably the middle part of the week, the first week of July, get the leveler in from the golf course, get it leveled out, and then we'll start saturating. And once it gets done, we'll get the plant turned down, and hopefully the week of July 6th, 13th, somewhere in there, we're making ice, and hopefully, like you said, we could be skating earlier than that. And then once I know we're kind of in that ballpark, then I'll work with maintenance, and we'll get the plant turned off on the Pepsi side. Need about 30 hours to get that down to where it's good enough for the Bobcat to get in, and then we'll get that out, and that takes about a day to get that out, get the floor cleaned the next day, and then we'll let that sit until mid part of August. So right now it's going really well, and Simcoe thinks their Alabama crew should be out of here a week from Thursday. Everything goes well. So, but yeah, if you're by and want to see the pour or whatever, just stop on by and let me know, and you're more welcome to come see it. It's quite impressive to see what's underneath these floors. And the only bad news right now that we did find is they did do the pressure test on the underfloor pipe. And we did determine that the leak is underneath the actual rink itself. Since that ice is a 6-month timeline as far as what we have ice, they're not too concerned about any problems of heaving or anything like that. But the actual underfloor leak is not the old pipe. We were hoping it's the old pipe that we cut out, but it's holding up good until the header, and so the only place it can be right now is underneath the rink. So far, that's the only bad news I had in the short term. So, but with that, everything else is going good. Our rentals are great, and numbers of public skating are kind of what they are for the summer.
Bob, just a comment. It's always good in these kinds of projects in the park district that we have people that are on top of it and supervise and get it done right, and I think we have that. My other question is, when do you sleep?
I'll let my wife answer. Never. No, I'm a night owl, so like I said, it's when I get most of my work done is 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. But,
That's good.
I guess I'll sleep when God tells me it's time to go upstairs. But no, thank you for that. And like I said, you're free to come by anytime and take a look at it. I'll keep you updated, but hopefully when I'm here in the July meeting, we're making ice. That's our goal. Thank you.
Thank you. See Brian, Matt's not here. Horticulture, Chad.
We're nearly done planting. We've got probably one more day at the zoo, finish, get ready for the tiger ribbon cutting on Thursday. And then downtown planting, and then the planting will be finished for the season. So the staff has been good. We've got new faces this year, so everybody's working out really well. So I'm really happy with that. We've been plugging along. Baseball, that's been busy. Both Corbett and Hovind have been busy every day. Sabre Dog started practice today. So that'll be an every day with their 53 game season and 26 games at home. So that'll keep us busy until August. Soccer's been busy. 700 and some kids signed up for rec. So that's 3 days a week. Parks have been really busy. We've got 4 weddings in the park on Saturday. So it's nice to see those I've seen the parks busier than I ever have. So that's a good sign. I think people are really getting out and enjoying what we have. So it's been good, and it's been busy. So we could use some rain, but no hail. That would be bad for me.
How did the eggs go?
Egg laying really well. We had, was it 507 was the total? 83 nests, I believe, if my memory is right.
It was 84 nests.
84 nests, okay, it's close.
they have it.
It was less than last year, but still enough. Too many.
And I noticed I was in the park here 2 days ago. Didn't see any babies.
Yep, we had one. We must have missed one egg along the way. So there was one gosling in all of the adults, yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, thanks. And that's it.
I saw a flock of service that had well over 20 in it, so it is good that you're doing what you're doing. How many plants?
30, well, if you ask my staff, they think I have a counting problem. It's well over 30,000. They think it's closer to 40,000, but I won't admit to that yet, so.
All right, move on to forestry, Brian Johnson.
If there's any way you can turn the wind down a little bit, at least a month ago, we caught up a little bit. Everything's going really well. We had a really good year with our Boulevard Tree Program, which really makes us happy. Just about completely out of trees already this year, so very good success. Yeah, we're just probably gonna win.
Brian.
Just an update from my report. We did get the Arts in the Park schedule on Friday. They're gonna start July 2nd. And as Shannon said, our events in the park are extremely busy. Some we know about and some we don't, which kudos to Shannon, maintenance and forestry for just kind of working around that. I mean, it's a good problem to have. But on that note, earlier this year, we did do an event fee structure, and I just wanted to pass it along to you guys. Originally, we had it for $150 to 200 people, $200, and then after that, it was a $500 fee. What I'm proposing to you guys is to change that, and we kind of knew going into this that as we used it in real life circumstances, we might have to change that up a little bit. So what I am proposing is to up to 150 people, it'd be $100 for the event fee. 150 to 400, it would be $250, and then 400 to 1,000 people, it'd be $500. So really, we'd just be adding in another structure of adding a $250 fee, just because it seems to be a really big jump to go from the $100 to the $500. So I would just be asking you guys to adding that $250 range, so it's not such a big leap for people in that middle right there.
I make that motion that we put that second tier in there for the $250.
I'll second. Any discussion? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
Thank you for that. And then just a few other things. Ron and I have still been going to the DRT meetings, which is the Development Review Team meetings with the City of Minot, where we discuss our parkland dedications. There seemed to be a small confusion of where our payments were going, but we've been working with Megan on that, so those will show up on our June statement for the parkland dedications that we've done this year. So you'll see an additional line in there of the money that we're getting from the developers on that. And then just we continue to work on the outdoor recreation area, which Ron will talk about in his report. But as we move forward with that and look at some trail options, I want to go down again this fall and go bug our friends at the Outdoor Heritage Fund to see if we can get some money from them. So, and then the Peterson Greenway that Jared talked about, but Ron will talk about that in the director's report as well. So that's what I have.
Really? Recreation. Stopped.
I don't really have anything to add to my report other than a week from Saturday on the 27th. We'll be having the USA Patriots Wounded Warriors softball team in town. They usually go to McQuaid's softball tournament. That's canceled this year. So they are going to be in Bismarck that Thursday. And then they called and wanted to know if we could do something up here in Minot. So that'll be hosted at Hoven Park. We'll start at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and they'll play 2 games, one against Jerry Gooch's softball team, who's involved with the Wounded or the USA Patriots, and then a team of police officers and firemen. And then they're going to have a picnic of some kind afterwards. They're incorporating prairie grit and some dream catchers and trying to make it a pretty big event. And you know, they travel a lot, but this year they're kind of limited. But you know, there might be a chance for us to get them back here even every other year. It'd be nice to get them up here and have the community see what they do. So.
Stop. Adult recreation, Tom.
The only thing I would have to add is we had our there was a youth fast pitch tournament up at the complex this weekend and it went real well. So that was good. And Scott touched on the USA Patriots. We still plan on having our state fair tournament also July 18th and 19th.
Well,
The only thing, I talked to a couple people after the tournament this weekend, and they were very impressed with the tournament, how the Sky guys ran that this weekend. Got a couple compliments.
Yeah, the guys did.
Tweeted out, texted me, said, they just more compliments to you guys. So
Yeah, it worked out well where they could get on. Sometimes the timing of games don't allow you to get to every field to drag and chalk, and timing worked out well, so they got to every field and guys did real well.
That's great to see all the people in town too. Yeah. I mean, you saw so many girls with their families shopping, places that need the commerce right now. I mean, I'm glad it went on because it was great to bring people in town. So that's awesome.
Youth recreation, Dan.
We were excited to get all our summer programming going this week. Started yesterday. Our art, fitness gym, track, baseball, softball, t-ball, it's all going now. So we start our new sand volleyball league tomorrow night at the complex. Brian and his crew did a great job of getting a second court put in at Southfield, so now we have 2. So we're gonna play our high school league down there. And it says in there, I was talking about track in there, we had switched our meets from Ramstead to Nedros. Nedros generously offered us to use their track. Minot Public Schools wasn't allowing people in their facilities at the time. Since then, they have contacted us and welcomed us back to their facilities, but we are going to keep them out at Nedros for the remainder of the summer.
Maybe Brent.
What are the numbers for the sand volleyball?
We got
Being that it's new.
21 teams, 7th through 12th grade. So it's 4-on-4, so there's 21 4-person teams. Yeah, some coming from around the surrounding area too. So
That's awesome.
a lot of the schools, especially like small towns and stuff, aren't allowing people in their gyms this summer. Yeah, I don't. And so this was a great alternative. I worked with some of the local coaches and stuff to put this together so that there was another alternative to get them some more volleyball in the summer. So hopefully something that we can build and keep going.
Dennis, Mark.
The only thing I want to add to the report is last week we did 3 days of training, 10th, 11th, and 12th with our summer staff, new staff, and really got them excited and dialed into what we're going to do this summer. And then on Saturday we did a family fun tennis in the park day that was really great. Got to talk to the parents and kind of explain to them all the programs and opportunities we have. And then we started all of our learn to play tennis camps on Monday. So we had a good turnout yesterday and today. And like Shannon said, I think it's really kind of exciting. A lot of people are out playing at all the tennis courts and all through the parks and the golf course. So it's, I think it's really exciting for everybody. So I'm kind of happy, and our staff's kind of pumped up, and especially today, it was a great visual to see all the tennis courts being played on. So I want to encourage everybody to come out and play tennis.
And Mark.
We were, had to go, my son left his baseball glove at practice, whatever, so we had to go get it, and we had to go by Leach Park this afternoon, and he was at the deal on Saturday. And you must have said there's like, what, 17 courts in Minot or something like that?
Right.
He goes, yeah, the tennis pro said there's 17 courts in Minot, and there's one that I haven't seen. And he said, so they were listening to it.
19.
19. I wasn't listening.
We start with 10 at hand. We start to go from there.
All right, we have new business.
On the agenda, we have something we can bring up now or under other business.
Good.
So I sent this out to you guys. We've had this before us in the past, the all hazards emergency operation plan that Board County puts together, and they asked us to sign on to it. last time it was presented to us, and as we went through the entire plan, we weren't really even mentioned in it, other than that we were an entity, but we weren't a part of the plan. So you guys rejected it, and we have since met with the Ward County Emergency Manager and the mayor sitting on it, and we have the discussion, and they're happy to add us in there. Understand that if they're going to use some of our facilities, if they need to use, the auditorium as a shelter or the Mesa or some other facility, that we want to see that at the table. In the Emergency Operations Center, we should be represented there. So they happily agreed to that. Only caveat is that they can't change this plan until spring, because it's already been approved by everyone else except us. So they're asking us to sign on to it, and they have the changes ready, and they will insert them in the spring when it goes around again. But it is important for them, for us to sign on to it, so that we're all working under the same plan. So I would be fine now with us signing on to it. They have agreed to put us in the plan.
I'll make a motion to sign off the emergency plan.
Second. Any discussion? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. One old business, COVID-19 update.
All right, so we've been working under the plan that was put together, the North Dakota Smart Restart Plan. As of yesterday, we removed all of our restrictions at all of our facilities. We still have user groups that are operating under restricted guidelines, then we're fine with that, that's fine. But we opened up locker rooms, we're allowing them to operate at capacity in our facilities. We took the noodles out of the holes at the golf course, and put the ball washers out. And listened to the governor this afternoon in his press conference, and it sounded very promising that next week, they may do this statewide, or at least a bunch of counties will. He brought it up himself at the end of the press conference, so that's kind of us and Bismarck, probably Dickinson, have been in this category where we haven't had that many positives, and we have our user groups, they want to get in our facilities, so they own them, and we've been honoring their requests, and we've been working with them. Bob has put together an awesome plan at the Mesa Arena that other cities and across the state, across the nation have been using. All of our employees did a great job. We went through this whole process and put our plans together, and everybody followed them. They did a great job. Slowly but surely, we've been upping the attendance numbers and everything else. And so we hit it on Monday, and nothing gets in our way. We're back to normal again. It's a good thing. Obviously, if something changes, we'll change with it, but even we still have attendance at the splash parks until the end of the week right now. So other than that, everything is back to normal again. The zoo has some special restrictions because of the animal situation, so they still have some things going there. Everywhere else, we're back to normal. So that's our update at this point.
Any questions on it? Superfund site update.
So I spoke to Mr. Jonas and the Public Works Director, and I talked to David Lakefield as well, and they have brought it before the city. They're having the discussion of what to do. They feel that they can't get the ordinance changed until the EPA lets them as well, so they're now trying to get in contact with the EPA. It's the same thing that we've been doing for a while, so these are sitting there still, but they're doing their best. They're having trouble, just as much trouble as we are with it. So maybe talk to our congressional delegation again and give them some help that way. But if we're all working together on it, it seems like we should be able to find a way to get something to happen. But it's on their radar, and they're working on it. They're as frustrated as everyone else.
So that kind of put the kibosh a little bit on the do it and beg for forgiveness plan, right? Yeah. I mean, it's not the city's fault or anything, but we need to have the city get that their property, so. No, I understand that.
I'd like to see us send letter, email, whatever, to all three representatives. Just say, we've worked on this since November of 2011. We're not breaking into the ground, we're not breaking trust. There's no reason this shouldn't be an easy, simple thing for them to prove. I know we've done that before, but we need to do it again. I agree. And once we need to do it again, maybe we'll get tired of hearing this.
President Emery, if I may, maybe it makes sense because I'm trying to think back over council agendas and actions that have specifically come before the council. And I don't think I remember this one. I've been aware of the issue because I've been here and I've been a supporter of everything you guys are talking about. And I feel like I've had conversations about it, but I don't think it's ever come before the entire council. So maybe as a path to help our congressional delegation acknowledge this challenge that we're having with the federal agency, maybe a couple resolutions, one coming from this board and one, so that it is seen by the council, it is seen by the public as something we've been trying to do, and maybe that's an avenue that helps get the attention that we actually need to advance this. Now it's just becoming almost sadly comical, but.
When is the next city council meeting?
Our reorganization is next Tuesday, and then it'll be the first Monday in July.
Yeah, just put on the agenda. Someone else wants to. Just ask this. Right, we've worked with the staff, and staff's been great. Right, good direction. Coaches and council. Unfortunately, we don't have the media here at our meetings, but they are at the city council meetings, so that might be way to go.
We have met with Sean Weeks again 2 weeks ago now to just do an update on the plan, make sure that we're ready to go with that. So I think in the meantime, we'll hold a meeting with the user groups so we're all on the same page. So if all the stars align and they say go, we should be ready to go.
Maybe the user groups can apply some pressure too. I mean, direct to DC. I mean, if the city is doing it, if we're doing it, if the user groups are doing it, squeaky clean.
Yes. Budget update.
So we have scheduled meetings with department heads. Started on the budget. They've been working on it for a while now, so we're gonna meet with them and see where they're at. I think we could have a budget for you guys to look at by our next regularly scheduled board meeting towards the end of July. So I think fairly easily. And then we have to have our preliminary budget approved by the first part of August. I think it's the 6th. There's a gap of about a month between that and the first week of the final budget. So that sits for a month, a little longer. So at the preliminary budget hearing, we have to set the date for our budget hearing in September. And then it gets published and sent out in the letters along with everybody else's budget by the county auditors. So I think easily we can be in that range so you guys can see it. And towards the end of July, we've got plenty of time to have another meeting or two or whatever we need to get it finalized.
It'd be nice if we could get that out a number of days before the meeting. And ideally, maybe they have the preliminary approved at the next board meeting, not have to call special meetings. Let's see what it looks like, what people want, vote and want, how much discussion goes on. It'd be nice to get that. And the usually goes good. Well, other business. All right, approval administratively approved alcohol permits. We have 2 of them. Some second. And discussion. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carries. Director's report.
All right, so the outdoor rec area, Ellie mentioned the chance for us to go back again to the Outdoor Heritage Fund and request funds. We're definitely gonna look at this plan differently. This is the southwest corner coming off of the Country Club Road. This project we have gotten estimates on. We're in the process of now going to meet with the township to get an approval. At some point, I would guess this will be probably a spring project now for us to look at putting the road in the parking lot again, to get access into the property, coinciding with trying to get some funds to do some trails out there to follow the drainage area, do some natural surface trails out there. So that's where we're at on that part of the project. Up on the northeast corner of the property, I met with one of the Carefree Partners group, met with one of the gentlemen, and he is now going to proceed with the rest of his group to look at options, including a donation of some land or potentially even a first right of refusal on the land we need for that extra hole over there and the right of way we need for the roadway to come in. So we can keep the plan that we really like intact without having to change it anymore. So that's going on as well. The plat should be ready to be sent to the city fairly soon. They were working on that, getting that finalized, and we have the developers agreement approved already by the city and by us, so that's ready to record once the plat gets recorded. So we've got some activity. We're also starting to work on the water permit and a couple other items on the project. So the golf course design is basically done. We're happy with it. They had the grading plan done. They were working on irrigation. They're almost completely done with that part of the process. So now we're working on the part of the project. All right. So something that we have talked about, we started talking about it in the spring before things kind of changed for us. We're kind of ready to get back and revisit this again. First thing, when we purchased the Fireside Lounge, we have funds in our future development fund to do the tear down and leveling of the site. We still have one leaseholder in there. The end of July is the end of that lease. It should easily be out. So we are working on specking this project out for the demo of that site and leveling of it. And with you guys' approval, we could potentially have bids for you guys to look at our next meeting at the end of July for that project, and then that can happen anytime after that. It could be a fall project or whatever, but at least we'll get that part done and set it up for future development. In the meantime, we've talked about the potential field house or the addition of another sheet of ice and keeping turf in one of the rinks that we had. The turf was a huge success over this last winter, and that's definitely on our radar for a future project for the indoor turf project. So Bob and Jared have been working on putting an estimate together for how much the addition may cost for the 4th sheet of ice. If you guys want to move ahead and look at the field house as well, we can look at that. We've got some numbers, from the estimate that was done not too long ago. We could at least take a look at these projects and see how much they may cost and get an idea of how long it would take to put one of those together. And the other thing that we need to do is look at this auditorium as well, long term, to see what our plans may be here. If we're gonna stay here, or we're gonna someday move out to that facility with our offices. Does this still need, do we need this facility still in Minot? Right now we do. If we start replacing some of the amenities in another facility, in a newer facility, but I know the city at some point is gonna want to talk about this building as well. So we would have that discussion at some point. We're talking about it internally, and we'll keep doing that, but at some point, if you guys have any thoughts or want to weigh in on it, let us know. I think we're quite at the point where we need to hire somebody to help us, but at some point we will. So we're going to keep those discussions going. It's multiple projects, and we know Mike reported at the last meeting on the progress for the aquatics group, so that's still out there and being talked about as well. This is the updated plan for the Mesa site, for the Superfund site, and you can see they have included all the potential future development that we have on that plan. The expanded parking here, expanded parking here. So they work the Frisbee golf course around the site. We still have the cross-country track on there and the mountain bike trails that were originally on there. He reconfigured a couple of things, but this plan now is ready to go to fit with any of our future development out there. So once we get the then go ahead, we can, this is what we'd be looking at constructing. So you guys can take a look at this anytime. I can send it out to you so you can take a better look at it. This is the water slide now that they're constructing for us, so we're at, what, 39 and a half feet, almost 40 feet on the tower, and 2 huge slides off of it, so it's almost 4 stories tall. It's gonna be an awesome slide, so we're excited, and they're starting to kind of set up for it already, so they'll be demoing and working on this. Hopefully by the end of this season, we'll have this thing up. Tiger exhibit, we talked about that ribbon cutting on Thursday at 11, so that's really exciting. It looks beautiful over there. All the zoo staff were over there, probably working on it all day and right up until the last minute. I know Shannon was over there helping put plants out. It really looks nice over there, so this is really exciting for us. This is the greenway area that we were talking about. If you look at the map up here, this is 4th Avenue, this is the west bypass, and this is going north. So the property starts down here. There's a gravel road right off of the street. This section is owned by somebody else, and from about all the way up through here, through this green area, and it goes all the way up to the top of the hill, comes back out on the street again. It's about 3/4 of a mile section, and this is what it looks like in between. It's just beautiful and not buildable, but it's a beautiful area. It's nice and wide in between, and what we had planned on doing is working with the developer at the time, put a trail in here. He indicated that he would put the trail in. Now, of course, we still don't have a trail, and this is a couple of years later down the road, so we're setting up a meeting with him to see where he's gonna go. He's starting to develop homes up there now, so some action is happening, so we're gonna ask him where our trail is, first of all, and then try and figure out a way to get that moving, because this is really nice up here, and really not a place for any other amenities. You could do some benches and just a trailhead and a nice walk through here or a bike ride. It's really nice, so.
Just avoid the poison ivy and snakes.
Ticks.
And ticks.
Here. Who knows what else is in there, but it's really nice. So. Then just a couple of updates. The economic impact study. I know Megan met with our crew last week in Ellie and gathered some more information for them, and we're working on getting them what they need. They're actively working on the economic impact study for the park district. They completed the zoo last year, and they're doing it for the rest of our facilities now this year. So we're excited to see the results of that. They're kind of a strange year, but they do historic data as well as the current year, so that shouldn't affect them that much. They can get a good number for us going forward. Jared already talked about the paving projects. Greenway maintenance agreement is on the city's plate right now. The city attorney has finished reviewing. It's going through that process now. South River Joint Board has to look at it as well. And once they're finished, then it'll come to us and it'll be on the city's council's agenda and our agenda to approve. Sometime later on this summer, we'll end up with the first part of that Greenway project getting turned over to us, the dog park and up towards the Wheelings area. So then it'll kind of continue through the city. So that's getting worked on. It's not a big complex agreement. There'll be a lot of maps to it, but the agreement itself is about 3 pages long. Buyout areas, that's what Josh mentioned. This is something that we've been talking about with the city for quite a few years. That was part of the resiliency fund project. There was money in that fund to set aside to do study of these areas. And we've been working with them to what we feel like would be a good way to go with that is if the city will agree to add us as a sub-recipient and also the South River Joint Board as they're working on the flood control project. And that really makes a lot of sense for us two entities to work together on this and get the planning done for as the project moves through the city. Let's see here. Magic City Discovery Center. I'll just keep this brief. You guys have all seen that they're, potentially looking at alternate sites, and at some point they're going to want to come and talk to us, talk to the board. So I'll keep you updated on that. At some point, we'll have a public meeting and have that discussion and see where they're at. Budget I already talked about. What am I missing? The audit's going to start when?
Mid-July.
Mid-July.
Yeah, we're preparing for it now, but the auditors will actually do the work mid-July.
And the bond sale was all closed out, money came into our account, everything's finished there, so. We're having a good
Ron,
start to the season.
how short was the Discovery Center of having what they wanted if they built what they had originally planned?
Yeah, they were probably 30% short of what they needed to move forward on that side, so. All right, that's it. Unless you guys have any questions, we have a lot going on this time of the year. Our department heads are doing a great job. It's so exciting to see the programs getting busy and our facilities are busy. The parks are as busy as we've ever seen them. Trails, it's awesome right now. So we're excited. Feels like we're the only game in town right now. So which is fine with us. We'll take it. So, all right.
All right, well, the commissioner's report.
I don't have anything.
Got nothing. Let's piggyback on what Ron said. Shannon did talk about it, the parks being busy. I think that's a sign that we made the right decision when we're on the side of keeping things open and keeping the decision in the taxpayers' hands on if they wanted to go out and sign up for things and enjoy the outdoors. So I think it's a vindication that this group made the right decision, which is good. And what the city council yesterday, Parks and Rec came up, the combination of the two is a good example of the city and the park working together. And I think maybe the next opportunity to do that is in front of us now with the Superfund site. I think it'd be kind of it just sets up perfectly if we can get that going. I think that'd be awesome. And most importantly, Commissioner Wharton, it's great to see you here tonight.
Thank you.
Glad you're feeling well.
Thank you. Well, I just want to thank everybody. It's been quite a ride. Over 27 years I've been associated with the Park District, so it's long enough. It's not the time for someone else to take the reins. And I want to thank the four gentlemen running an excellent campaign, very close to the election results. I'm looking for, I'll be here when you're talking about taxes. So anyway, I look forward to all these things and seeing how they progress. And I might come see your homes and stuff. So, I definitely will be back out for Toro games. They were able to totally unplug the main artery. I've got a stent in there and they haven't killed me in rehab yet. So as long as they don't do that, I'll be good. So thanks a lot for everything that I've had a chance to do. And it's too bad Becky isn't here because I'm going to be following her around like a mouse to help with the zoo and so forth. So thanks very much.
I got a couple things. It's already that time of year that we need to look at goose hunting and service. And I would like us to look at doing 2 days this year. One morning, one evening. So if we can get Steve, you and Jared to figure out those dates after the 15th, that's then work with the group. I know there might be an issue with the group. Meat was supposed to be donated and the donatee wouldn't take it. So they're talking some other stuff on doing that and possibly making jerky and then you can back and take it to the food pantries. But I'd like to see just 2 days because last year they didn't come in until 11 and they're flying in there at 4. So maybe we try 2 different days, pick the days and figure it out. And the other is we have a liaison committee meeting at this point on July 14th. Commissioner Olsen. And Commissioner Wharton. On behalf of the board, the Park District, thank you for your time. Thank you for everything you've done.
We clap.
And with that, we will go into the reorganization of the board, and I'd like to appoint Commissioner Schmidt to be the temporary chairman of the organization.
We have to bring.
Yep, we'll have to ask Ken to come up, and Steve, sit down with them, please. Go to the foundation.
If you're.
Three out of four.
All right.
Yes.
So we have to officially.
The meeting first.
Yeah.
Is this it? This one is it?
Look for a motion to officially adjourn our meeting. So,
Okay.
all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is officially adjourned. Reconvene the regularization meeting. At this time, I'd like to accept nominations for president and or vice president.
I'd like to nominate Barry Olson for president and Mike Schmidt for vice president.
Is there a second?
I will second.
Any discussion on that? Any other nominations? Roll call vote, get that?
Yeah, you need to ask it 3 times.
3 times. Oh, I have to ask you 3 times. Which are at the first one?
Sorry.
Any other nominations from the floor? Any other nominations? Roll call vote.
Havda,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Kinsman,
Yes.
and Emery.
Yes. Okay. Appointing of a clerk, is that pretty much Ellie? I would nominate Zoe Valordi. For a second? Second. Do I have to ask 3 times that?
Well, you can do those all 4 at one time.
I'd like to do them all. Do them all. Appoint treasurer.
To appoint all 4 positions.
Okay, yeah, so I'll move this Ellie, Penny, right? Treasurer, Pete, and then I don't know if we should be all the executive director. They're on as PD. Second for that?
I'll second.
Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Vote.
Havda,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Kinsman,
Yes.
Emery.
Yes.
All right, foundation meeting to follow. What do we have for the foundation? Got approval of minutes from the foundation meeting.
She has to reconvene a regular meeting.
No, I think we got more. Do this once a year. Yeah, adjourn the reorganization.
Reconvene and
That's the president of the foundation meeting.
Well, the foundation meeting. Look for a motion to adjourn reorganization meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
And we'll call the foundation meeting to order. Personal appearances. Approval of minutes for the May 19th Park Foundation meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approval of bills, Nemco Sports for the Mesa Center on the scoreboard, $61,633.
So how do we come out on that, Bob? I know we had some good estimates last time on the whole 2 scoreboards. Most of it was covered.
I just get the gift of having the nice scoreboard. Mr. Olson can give you the.
Foundation President
I'm
Commissioner
deferring.
Havda. Again, this is 1/3 of the scoreboard that we have to put a payment on. Then we'll put the second third when it arrives, and then the full amount at the end. And then there's other expenses that they'll be taking care of as it goes. So they did reduce their price by $15,000 from the original bid price.
We're quite close to being within the budget to be able to do that and move the other scoreboard.
I would say yes, unless there's unforeseen expenses that come up during the process. But the structural steel review came out favorable. They'll have to do some reinforcing of the 4, I think they called it pick points for the board. But other than that, the structural piece came up
And
well.
we'll have it done before Bob was putting ice down.
No, it looks like, he'll be doing it around his schedule. He may have to adjust to exhibition games in September to accommodate, but I think our user groups will be plenty happy with a four-sided video board, with the little inconvenience of a couple exhibition games.
Good, thank you.
And the height is good on the other deck ring for the scoreboard?
It'll be tight, you know, obviously it's, what's that, about 5 feet, 6 feet lower, so, but there's other facilities in our state that have those boards and never seem to be an issue. For I mean, that's mainly, the Yak rink will be mainly youth level games, so it should be just fine.
Motion bid.
Not yet.
I'll make a motion to pay the bill to Nefco Sports. Second.
Discussion, further discussion.
And that money's coming from the.
It's in the foundation. Yes, we started a line in the foundation. We'll draw off of that. And as the sponsorship dollars come in, it'll reimburse that line.
These are unrestricted funds on the project. Paid back by our donor.
Discussion? Roll call.
Updike?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Wharton?
Yes.
Emery?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any questions on the base statement? Any new business? Other business? And then I will at this time, appoint Mr. Schmidt again for the reorganization of the foundation.
What's the trigger on this one?
Executive.
So look for a motion until second. All in favor?
Aye.
Good. Information reorganization meeting for the foundation. What do we?
I would, look nominations, I would nominate, Perry Olson as president and Mike Schmidt as vice president.
Second?
Second.
Is that a 3-timer too, Melanie?
Yep.
Aye. Any other nominations from the floor? Second time for nominations. Third time for nominations. See no further nominations. All in favor?
Aye. I'd also make a motion that we appoint Kenny Kiston to the foundation board.
Second for the nomination?
Second.
Again, Melanie, is that a 3-timer?
Why not?
Okay. Look for the nominations. Third time nominations? All in favor? Aye. Motion approves. Is it adjournment? Second for adjournment? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved for adjournment.
Good work.
Thanks for getting back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we ended.
Yes, we don't want our chatter.